Okay guys, welcome back. It's Colt again. Now we're going to do some steaming. We've relieved the bottom of the piece, okay? All the way around the perimeter. You know, the only thing holding it on is that one little swoosh, it's a black in color piece. And then the anchors are exposed. This top piece, that just fell right off. But they don't all do that. So you get your steamer, okay? You get your piece on end, come around the edges here. And if you zoom in on that, you'll see how that swells up. And that just wraps around the edge of this board. They put a little spot glue on there, but you want to take your steamer because you have to take this foam off to get to that anchor. And they have went to the ends of the earth to make this difficult for anybody to remove. So you come around the edges. You can start on the bottom of the board here, okay? And then kind of use your wand to get it to come up to just, because this is the first time this has ever been, it's never been re-upholstered. This is straight from the factory. I can tell. Nobody's ever worked this piece before. So it's in there pretty good. So you just gotta work your piece and then wiggle your wand. If it stops blowing real good, wiggle your wand and it'll go back down and into the reservoir. Little trick there. If your steamer, it seems like it's not working right, just kind of wiggle it, hold it up like this and wiggle it like this. And all that steam and water will run back down into the reservoir and it'll give you a good release. But yeah, this one's gonna, everyone's different. This one's gonna fight me a little bit. But don't worry about that. Like I always say, remember, talk to yourself. What am I doing? What is this? This is a seat. Foam and fabric. This ain't flesh and bone. You can conquer this. This ain't nothing. Just take your time. That steam will work that glue. You know, it's inevitable. It's gonna let go. Just keep after it. Yep, there you go, see? And you get, once you get it to peel up off the bottom, then you work your way in. And then see how that's starting to let go? And that's what you do, but you have to get rid of the bottom first. I'll show you. This is a heavy piece, but like this along the bottom, that's what I've just been working on. Some of that came up with the staples, so I can get up on in there. But right now, what we're after, see that side piece? That's just glued down, and you don't want to tear that. Sometimes it'll come up, but see how that lipped up like that? Once that relieves, then you can get your steamer down in there. But take your time and don't tear your foam. You don't have to tear your foam. It will relieve. Don't wear your gloves. You know, don't burn yourself, but you gently use your fingers to get up under there. And then once the edges have surrendered, like they're doing it now. Once these edges have surrendered all the way down, then you can get up on in there. Like that. And it's just a 1/2 inch piece of board, so that's what you're concentrating on. You can come steam this out later, but you just see how that's coming up now? And you come underneath like a piece like this. All of them are different. I've never done one quite like this with these radical little fins like this, but it is what it is. It's just dimensions. Yeah, don't let that intimidate you. A seat's a seat. Embrace every one. All it's going to do is make you better. That's what chases most folks off with upholstery, is because, you know, 90% of what you do in upholstery is prep, is tear down, is prep, tracing patterns, cutting patterns, making your piles, you know, getting ready to sew. You know, first you got tear down. You know, second you got tracing, pattern making. And then third you have sewing. And then fourth you have upholstery. So it's a lot of prep. There's a lot that goes into it before you ever upholster, per se, anything. So it's not like people think. You know, there's a lot of work involved in this. There really is. But it's a labor of love for me. You know, and you don't have to hang your head to be an upholsterer. There ain't a person on the planet don't have a couch in their house, or a chair, or a car, or a tractor, or a motorcycle, or a snowmobile. All that's all upholstery. I mean, we are pivotal to America. Yeah. But what chases people away is this kind of stuff. This, you know, it takes a minute to get it ready, to get it tore apart. You can't just tear it apart, you know. It's not how it works. These little fins like this, I mean, you gotta work these. But if you'll watch it, you could zoom in on your video. I wish I had someone here to help me with my camera. My new bad boy phone, the old iPhone 15. The only reason I got it was for doing this, because I'm pretty simple. I ain't doing nothing fancy. I need some crazy phone. I'm no executive or nothing. Anyway, so you just, well, you got it like this. You steam it all out, get it to let go. And all this will wake up. Like if this foam here on these little weird fins, that's definitely where I would put a topper foam on the new piece that I put down. You know, I probably will anyway, just because of this, the nature of this. But you can drag this steamer across this foam and just watch it come back to life. You'll be able to tell with your foam if it's any good or not. Foam goes bad, you know. Heat. I mean, it's basically oil is what this foam is. If it starts losing its integrity, you'll be able to see it right away, or it starts dusting off real heavy. Yeah. Now, foam is expensive. You know, just this piece right here is $250. You know, and probably $350 if you want them to cut it for you. So, foam's crazy. That's the only thing that any upholsterer, nobody gets any kind of deals on foam. That is unheard of. It's the one thing. I mean, you might get glue and staple and gimp cord and this and that, you know, degreasers and deals on different kinds of vinyls once in a while, but that's about it. But you know, foam, it ain't ever good. They say there's a deal on foam once in a while, but like to buy a roll a 1/2 inch, or you know, or 80 inches of 8 inch. But you see how that came up? That came up and exposed that wood. That came up just because of the steam. Okay? But like I said, take your time and be gentle with it. Because this is one shot, one kill, and most of the time it'll always come up. Even if it, like I said just a minute ago, this is stubborn stuff. You know, this particular one, because this is, the factory tends to just glue the bejesus out of everything. And you don't need all kinds of glue. You know, when you got anchors and you don't got to, you know, don't lose your mind on gluing something down. Just a tit here and there. You don't need that. And glue's expensive. So you'll see how it's starting to surrender. And when you pull it up, you just put your wand in there, hold it, and you can step back and watch that swell up. That's slowly starting to grow. And you pull back and look, and there you go. Sure enough, be careful you don't hurt your, I mean, you could burn yourself in a second on these steamers. These things are no joke. But just work your way across the bottom, stick it in there, let it steam, let it relieve. Take your time. When they're glued down like this, and see how I'm slowly inchworming my way in there. And it's slowly starting to let go. And then I'll work my way back and work my way back and work my way back. You see that? It's starting to come up. Now I'll come over here. I'll grab my thing and I'll hold it up and wiggle it to where the condensation goes back down the hose. I'll stick it in there at full force. Oh yeah, that's starting to let go. Come back over this side. Stick my wand down in there, and slowly but surely it'll surrender its bite. And you can use a putty knife too, you know, while you're steaming. I recommend always steaming. You know, don't hurt your foam. You don't got to mess with your foam. Just take your time. It'll let go. Let go. Just inchworm your wand dipping up underneath in there, and sure enough, bam, bam, bam. I mean, that steam is hot. It's gonna let go. And you'll find some purchase, and you just keep after it. And then once your foam's off, then you can hold your foam up by your hand, and steam it out. It'll come up underneath, and then it'll swell, and you'll revive this foam because it's collapsed probably a ½ inch. But the steam will bring it right back to life. As long as it isn't turning to dust on you, you can usually always keep the foam. And you can see how my wand's underneath it there. See how that steam's coming up through there? Yeah, it's starting to let go. But you get your edges first, your perimeter, okay? It's a ½ inch board. You might have a high piece here and there somewhere, it depends on the seat. But you want to get that ½ inch all the way around and then start relieve all of the real thin pieces of foam around the edges, you know, that keep from showing the board when the vinyl goes over it. But this takes a minute. And I just wanted to do this video to show you. You're just inchworming your way, and you're going over here, and you're going over here, and you're going over here. But you know, once it lets go, it's let go. It's not going to glue back down again. So don't worry about it. But you get, you know, especially I like to start in the middle, get it all the way around, and then start on one end and work my way in the middle so I can bring it up and slowly take the whole piece off. That's usually what I do. Like this. This whole end's almost let go. And they've got some layering going on in here. There's a little artistry going on these little fins they got here, which I respect. I like seeing that. But you use your wand, you stick it in there, and you slowly, you know, start like a fulcrum. And you start lifting that foam and lifting that foam and lifting that foam. There you go. See that? Look at that. That's coming right up. And so, where two pieces of foam meet, two different patterns meet, the anchor in the middle is going to go underneath. You're going to staple on that side. So on this side, it just comes down and disappears under the foam. Okay? That's when people really, like this guy did. He really glued it down. But like I said, you really don't have to do that. Just get it up in there snug. Just a few little spritzes of the glue. I mean, this is pretty crazy. I don't see this very often. Not like this anyway. But you need to glue your foam down, but we'll go through that together and I'll show you. You know, this is a lot of glue this guy used. Probably a couple cans. You shouldn't use but a ½ a can on this whole seat. You know, unless you're using you know, I have the big 5 gallons, and then I have the, up here you can see my spray guns. You know, when I'm doing big pieces, I'll shoot it with the Landau glue. And just because it just, a can of glue on its own anymore, good Lord, how much is a can of glue? $14 or something, just, it's insane, you know. And the whole 5 gallons of Landau is like 165 bucks. And, but you have the, you know, you got to keep your guns clean. You got to keep those alive, you know. You can buy those sprayers at Harbor Freight for 20 bucks, you know, and I usually use them 5 or 6 times and just throw them away. They pay for themselves. Like, you bid all that into your job, you know. Always try to buy a new roll of thread with every job, you know, like 35 bucks or something for a, I use Tech 90 on everything. Unless they, you know, they want a top stitch with like some 235 on it, you know, they really want something crazy bulky. You never know what somebody's going to want. But, okay, so this is going to take a minute. As you can see, I'm trying to hop around so you can just whip through these videos and get what you need. But you see how that's coming off? Okay, then you got that piece in the middle, but this anchor here goes underneath. Okay, all the anchors went towards the top of the seat. Some people do it that way, some people go the other way. You never know. It's up to you which way you do it. I like to make them go the same way, just like they did. But so you slowly muscle around with your steamer. This is just a technique. This is a video just on steaming. Okay, and then you like I said, go around, get the perimeter, and then relieve it up the middle a little bit, and then start on one end and work your way in. So then you have a whole piece to work with, and you can, then it's easier to inchworm your way out and get this piece relieved. Okay, but you have to take those off before you can get this middle piece here, you know, this middle swoosh, this artistic swoosh in here. So this is the things that you do. Relief with steaming. So that's it for this video. I'm going to take this off and steam off the rest of them, and then me and you will remove this middle piece and the rest of the hide. The anchors are the only thing holding this whole piece on right now, but you can't get at them anchors until you get rid of the foam. Okay, so you understand how the foam's laid in, and you'll understand more when we go to put this back together, because then you'll just go, oh man, okay, it'll just start clicking. So I'm Colt from Spit and Text Upholstery. Peace be with you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to do this off, and then we'll come back and take out the anchors and the last piece and skin the hide together, okay? All right. Another video down for you folks. Here we go.